Folks, we are live. Welcome to which one's this one? Oh yeah. Yeah. Game is health. I almost forgot what the heck it is we're doing. Forgive me. I know not what I do, or sometimes what I say, but in any case, uh yes, we know the real star of the show is Rach. That's okay. I forgive you all for misunderstanding that. So it's been an interesting week for many reasons. Let's just start with that. But trying to think here. Uh, I have doctor's appointments that I have to make that are basically put off until we know what's going on with Rachel's radiation because I need to work my appointments around that. But
So thank God we'll know by Monday.
well, on Monday.
Yeah, on Monday they'll
Uh,
they'll tell us, you know, this many days, this many whatever is, and at
right.
this time.
Starting when.
Yeah, but I know it's going to be like probably the first one where they explain like what they want to do and explain about the cancer and where they want to hit with the radiation, and then you know explaining the risks and signing the consents and
Yeah, all that crap.
an examination, I guess, too. And then I guess the following one would be like mapping and like a CAT scan or whatever to know where all my uh important organs are, like my heart and my lungs.
They tell me they're in the
Yeah.
same spot in everybody, but
Well, generally, yeah. But the radiation, I guess, is very exact.
you're gonna get 4 pinpoint tattoos.
I know. Or at least it said um anywhere from 1 to 12. I was like, 12?
I told things a bit. I had
Where are you gonna put 12 at?
I had 4.
Unless they're writing fuck cancer on it. I'm not getting 12.
Uh, TXG, thank you. Hello. Now we do have the beatdown of obsession as the show's theme, and there's a reason for it. And I'm going to surprise folks when I say it's not the. If you're thinking the usual suspect, you're totally wrong.
I mean, that person has their problems.
But
Don't get us wrong.
yeah, but this is not about that. This is about the
somewhere between love and madness lies
that's obsession, or love and hate, probably too. I mean, yeah, it's a weird little thing. So, update on our Gardein, our internal hydroponics. I will take a picture for next week. We just on Thursday we changed the water and we added fertilizer, and holy shit,
this thing has taken off like wildfire.
it's like you want
Our red sales lettuce
yes
has taken off. It's like getting bushy. I'm like, whoa, it's growing every day.
it's growing
Like doubled every day.
You look at it in the morning and then you come back and you look at it in the late afternoon and you're like, am I seeing things or has this grown? And it's like, ooh, nice. So we'll take a picture of that to update folks what it looks like. I mean, this is our anniversary present to ourselves. So November 5th is our anniversary. I forget what day of the week that is.
I think it is
It's a Sunday.
Sunday. Oh,
all right. So then our next Gamers Health, when we come on, we will be
it'll be the anniversary.
Anniversary eve of 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Holy! She put up with me for 12 years. I can hardly believe my eyes, my soul, my very being that she put up with me and my annoying sense of humor and the funny voices I will occasionally put on. I'm sorry, my Fauci voice is somewhere between Fauci and Bernie Sanders. I can't help it, man, because the two of them.
Bernie Sanders.
I can't help
it. That is a good caricature. That's pretty cool.
It falls somewhere between the two extremes. Tom, Thank you. Yeah, we're sneaking up on that 12,
Thank
12
you.
years. And then the year after that would be 13 at Baker's Dozen. Hoo hoo hoo. Scary stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It really is. So, diet wise or blood sugar wise, my blood sugar is beginning to stabilize a bit with the addition of whatever the F it is. What's the latest?
It is not Jordan's. No,
No,
no.
Juvian.
Januvia. Yes, there it is.
These fucking made up names really annoy the shit out of me. But I take the Januvia at night. They didn't say anything. I took, but you have to build up on it for a couple of weeks before it starts to have an effect. So it's having an effect. And then, of course, I ate bad today, and we had a frozen, self-rising pizza with everything on it. It was good.
That crust was big.
Yes. So Tom wants to know, what's the secret of your success? I think the secret of our success largely comes down to when we found each other, we were no longer looking.
Yeah.
Honestly, okay.
The lock and the key, I think.
I mean,
it's like God's mercy. That we each found each other.
We found each other at the right time for both of us, and both of us had pretty intense enough careers and a lot of responsibility that was attached to it.
Yeah.
And Rach already had an insight into the PD world because she dealt with a lot of our broken toys, a lot of our alcoholics. So she had an idea of the culture beyond just the drinking aspect of it, but she had an idea of the culture. So it wasn't like, oh, and now I got to break this one in.
I got to help her understand.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, can she? Do you realize I am not really an asshole? I'm just somebody who has a really dark sense of humor. And do you understand why I can make certain comments and they're like, damn, that's evil. No, it's just a dark sense of humor because it's how you get through your day when you're dealing with certain shit. So yeah, but and you know what? There's also that saying, never go to bed angry at somebody. We've never gone to bed angry at the other person. Honestly, the times I've gotten the most angry with Rach is when she has been angry at somebody else, who I won't name, and then and she lets a flame through her, so she'll burn hard and fast, and then be like,
I'll be a little banjo all around, and then it'll be over. It'll leave. It's like, oh, okay.
But it leaves because I absorbed.
What do you want? What do you want for dinner? Oh, what are we gonna watch on TV?
It's like, I'm gonna.
Why are you still stuck on that?
And I'm like, and it's like, it took us a while to figure out that I'm like an empath when it comes to that. Yeah. I absorb it for Rach, and it doesn't happen with other members of the family, but with Rach, if she gets like that, I absorb it, which is great for Rach because it allows her to go, okay, I feel great now. And in the meantime, I'm like, I'm gonna break stuff, So, but we've learned to cope. We've learned to grow with it. It's just part of one of the secrets to our long-term success, despite ourselves at times. But no, I could not ask for a better partner in life than Rach.
Same here.
Don't know how I got blessed. Not complaining. And listen, I look at other relationships. Look at my parents' relationship. They're very close. But they are.
Yeah, we both come from situations where like they stayed very close.
Yes.
Yeah. Our both
but
parents like.
Here's the interest. Like my father can piss the fucking shit out of my mother just by being my father. Because and by the way, Calvin Klein obsession is how my mother used to always refer to my father, because he gets something on his mind and he's so focused he can see nothing, hear nothing, think nothing else about whatever it is that's in his mind. So, and that's not the kind of obsession we're going to be talking about, but it is relevant. But Rach and I,
Well, it's a repetitive thought and a repetitive,
yeah,
like, at least a compulsion. It's like a repetitive behaviors
yeah.
that don't necessarily serve.
But Rach and I, we do very well at complimenting each other. Not thinking, oh, you look wonderful today, Rach. I love the way your hair looks. None of that shit. But whatever, wherever I lack something, Rach, it seems to be a good fit to make up for what I lack, and where she's got maybe a deficit, I seem to be a good fit to make up for her deficit. And we enjoy being with each other.
Right, and we realize where the complementary uh, elements are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I mean,
that's a good thing. Like, if you didn't realize it, you wouldn't know enough to be thankful for it.
right. So, like, I was a cop for 20 years, and cops tend to work certain schedules, right? And I knew cops that were married to fellow officers, and they'd be like, "Oh, being cops works out great for us because I work 4 to 12s and she works day tours,
Oh,
so
and they always have coverage for the
they always got
children.
coverage for the children,
Hmm.
and we don't see much of each other." And that was the secret to their success, was not being around each other all the time. Now, you might think, well, Eric and Rachel, they were successful because when they, initially they were both working, and then, all right, Eric retired, but then Rachel's still working,
Yeah.
and then Rach started working from home, and then Rach started working part time, and then Rach retired, and our bond has only gotten stronger with it. So I think that that is a very special thing.
Mhm.
And I don't know what the secret sauce. It's not like you can bottle that secret sauce.
No.
But again, Rach and I were we weren't going to compromise in what we wanted in our life mate, the lifelong mate. So when we found each other, our families knew before we did. My father was, "Don't fuck this up. Don't wait too long." I'm like, "What?" My son Chris asking for Rachel's ring size. Her mother setting us up to set up a backyard
Yeah,
party
she had
tent.
her little tests to see, oh, how do they work together?
Yeah. So the family was trying. That might be a keeper that she brought home. So it's I still remember meeting my brother-in-law and
Yeah, yeah.
having
That was a breaking in process.
having
He called you Derek. I was like, hi, Derek.
wait, are which are we talking about, Johnny or
No.
oh yeah, that's right, yeah,
Jimmy.
because Jimmy's the one that was throwing
And he started throwing spitballs or like
no toilet paper.
okay.
What toilet paper at me as I was at the urinal, smacking. But now, mind you, I was a cop. I was a cop at the time. I went through. Jimmy was a Marine. It's the same type of hazing.
Yeah.
So for me, I didn't bat an eye. I just, it's like, all right, hey, I didn't pee on myself. Obviously, I did something right. There we go. So, we were
My
very
nephew
lucky.
was very jealous.
Tammy, I actually knew what I was looking for. I had a list. Tom was solid check marks.
Aww.
When Rach and I first started conversing and talking, and I realized that she had lost her father to lymphoma, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh.
probably a little about the year before.
Yeah, and I was like, holy shit,
Mhm.
I'm a survivor of Hodgkin's, which is a form of lymphoma. And I was like, ooh, this is weird. I, it's, they weren't necessarily check boxes, but there were certain
Mhm.
pieces that were certainly
Seemed to
falling
fit.
into place.
Yeah.
Tom, yeah, I had a list and Tammy checked it off. Yeah, I mean, listen, for me, a prerequisite was, do you get along with animals? Are you an animal person? You know, she had a Dotson. That was the picture I saw of Rach.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what kind of strange dog is that? Looks like somebody broke its back and stretched it out. I went, oh, those are those Frankfurter dogs.
Anybody who loves a dachshund is wonderful.
Yeah, that's the ticket. So,
And you get to love dachshunds too.
I didn't,
Yeah.
and my cat, my girl Ashley at the time, who didn't like really anybody but me and my son, but didn't really get along with anybody, um, would sleep at your head,
Yes.
and the dog would sleep at your feet.
Mm-hmm.
And these animals that were pretty much solitary creatures got along because they knew that the most important people in their lives we're doing this match. It's like, oh, I guess I got to make this work too.
Yeah, they did. They
Yeah,
were so funny.
yeah, it was the only thing they argued over was the water bowl. Whoever got to the water
Yeah,
bowl,
they play territorial games with
yeah.
it.
Whoever
Who
got there
could guard
first.
the toilet in the toilet?
Yes.
Who could
The
guard the
toilet
water
bowl?
bowl?
Who's guarding the
Well,
water
the
bowl?
dachshund couldn't reach the toilet.
It tolls for thee. So, oh man, our niece is coming over with her girlfriend. We have a sleepover. It's going to be happening. We haven't heard them come in yet.
No.
So it's going to be pandemonium. I am quite sure.
Yeah. Giggling and
Giggling
oh my god!
and the God, look, it's auntie and uncle, and they're gonna be like, I'm like, you two can't be on the cast. No. Get away, go downstairs and watch Netflix and have more nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Jesus! Not my Netflix account, mind you, that gave the nightmares. That's all I'm gonna say. But I think, all right, well, we're gonna delve into this the beatdown of obsession, because I think it's important. Now, when I say, if you have a someone that you are already thinking of because of the history of what you're
I'm
looking at,
sure as we talk about it,
there
it'll
might be some
become more obvious
yeah,
to people.
but it is definitely not the quote obvious choice that people are gonna go, oh, I know what he's talking about. When you can live rent free in the mind of somebody, um,
Yeah, there are multiple people that shall remain nameless.
yeah, but it isn't something that is good for the person that's living that life. If you're the object of obsession, guess what? Especially this kind, is it annoying? Yeah, you're gonna hear people
Well, it
talking about
depends.
you.
It's annoying. It can escalate
It
to
can.
being very scary.
Well,
So
again,
Mhm.
depend. I'm talking about the situation I'm in. Um, you know, it's an ineffectual individual who is going to my friends in the community, some of them very close to me, including people like Bad Mike, um, and bitching and complaining about me in an effort to change their minds about me, to turn me into something that I guess I'm not. I should genuflect on a certain altar and make changes. But the reality is, when you, and I think the count now is, as of this morning, is 4, maybe 5 different people have been approached by this individual, all
wow.
all in an attempt to turn them on Tenkar, because Tenkar is the root of all evil in the OSR, and it's built on lies. I tell you, lies. But the reality is, when you are that obsessed with one individual who honestly couldn't give a flying fuck about you, except for the attention that you give, which, everybody wants some kind of attention, even poor attention.
Well, it's really sad. It's really pathetic.
Yeah.
It's like this grown man.
Yeah.
Who's, I don't know if he's our age. I don't.
He's probably in his late 40s, early 50s.
Okay, so
Yeah.
he's close to my age anyway. But Yeah, I mean, I would think that you would learn your lesson about how to speak to people, because what are people going to think of you when you come up and start talking trash about
Right.
somebody?
I
You
mean,
know, like, in it's very junior high school. Like, it's very
adolescent.
adolescent, like the person hasn't developed past that in terms of coping and being able to manage the situation. So he'd go in the back door. Oh my god, I've talked about this back door so many times. Where's where's Don? He'll remember. But yeah, like, this another person who sort of goes through the back door, talks mad shit, and then, it's like you wonder why people don't trust you, or that your name isn't um
Authoritative.
authoritative, or your name doesn't bring integrity.
Integrity, integrity farm.
Integrity Farms, man. So,
Gotta be good.
yeah, it's like, if he doesn't move with integrity, so how is anybody gonna trust this person's word about anything? Like, it's sort of like, the mean girls in junior high, like, they roll up on you and be like, because you couldn't see that. And sort of like, oh, she said, and she's like, oh my god, and oh my god, she wears this kind of bra, not this kind of bra that everybody wears, that everybody's supposed to wear. Or,
You're losing me, Rach. I swear to
whatever
God.
little girl things that people gossip about or talk nasty behind someone's back about. She said this about so and so, and oh my god, I hate her so much, and all that stuff, and then expect for somebody to, like, tell you, like, to bare their soul, like, so.
Well, I mean,
How do you expect somebody to, like,
here's
really talk to you and engage with you when you're doing that shit?
well, it's not even that. It's if you have to go to people that you perceive to be close friends of an individual, and they are, because they're all telling me. But if you and you basically
And
go,
that's the sick part.
when you go there,
Good they tell. That's the
yeah,
right thing.
and the whole conversation is about how Tinkor is built on lies, and he can't stop lying, and he only lies, and you got to tell him he has to retract his lies. You know what? Nobody cares what I say about this individual in question. Nobody cares. Okay? I don't care what I
I
say
don't
about this
think the
individual in
person
question.
matters that much. It
No,
sounds like.
no, it
Well, maybe
really,
because he's done this behavior so much that it's
yeah,
like,
you
fuck that
know,
waker.
yeah. So, but when you're that obsessed with it becomes a joke to those that are on the receiving end of it, because it's like, oh, you got those PMs? You're kidding me? Oh, but now you are also a Yahtzee because of
Because
whatever.
you won't align with me, you're a Yahtzee.
Yeah, I mean,
A hotsy totsy Yahtzee.
yeah, so that's a huge thing, and it's really, in my opinion, it's people that are broken, that lack any kind of their own self worth. Listen,
Yes.
the individual in question is somebody who years ago told me that I was abusing my authority in the hobby, my authority within the community, because I wasn't using my influence for the
Well,
powers of good, which means to me, okay, what you're telling me when you're telling me that is that you have no authority, you have no influence, you have no voice, and you need to co opt the voices of others to have any kind of influence. Don't worry about what other people do, what other people think.
just
Worry,
do you, man.
if you want to be seen as somebody with integrity, show integrity. All right, don't worry about
And
what other
that's
people
the
say about
bottom
you.
line. We're supposed to be on this planet, and have one face for everybody and a life of um live a life that our actions follow our words, and when somebody does these kind of things, like, you know I the person admires peace, the person holds
Well,
some really good values in
okay,
esteem, and
in
but
theory.
in theory, but then it's like, but you're not moving like that. Um you have to operate and do things in your life according to what those values and beliefs are. And when do mean girl 12-year-old stuff, that's
Well,
not it,
it's not a healthy way to be. And when people come to me, and it's been said about one or two others, which may come to mind. Wow, you live rent free in their mind. I'll be honest with you. I'm not looking to live rent free in anybody's mind, because that means that that person is likely ill. They likely have. I'm not saying it's a huge mental illness, but they are going through something in their life where they can't cope with problems or issues, and they're going to blame it all on one individual.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the
Mm-hmm.
only reason why people won't listen to me is because of Tengar. The only reason why I don't have an authoritative voice is Tengar. The only no
There's
working.
something wrong when the reason why something doesn't work is always about everybody else.
Right.
Whether it's Tenkar, whether it's I don't know, anybody else.
It's always
I'm afraid of whose name do I say and not say.
Tanka. Marsha. There. Make it
Yeah, like when it's everybody, when the answer is everybody else, you should start to get really nervous. You
right,
know?
because you can only push that blame so far. And when everybody that you disagree with, you have to label with the most defensive terms possible, because they aren't walking your line. That is scary. And obsession taken to another extent. Okay, what's another word for obsession? Fanatic. Now, what is a fanatic? Well, we can say fanatics are like sports fanatics, Jets fans, like the fireman Jet fan always goes to the games for the last 30 years with his green fireman hat on.
Aww.
He's a fanatic. Who else are fanatics? Religious fanatics, right? The ones that are obsessed with religion, but religion has gone beyond what we would historically consider to be religion. Religion has become politics,
Right.
and people take it to the extreme. So, uh, Tammy, people obsessed with others often see characteristics in them that they wish they had: influence, respect,
Mm.
character, or it's a convenient place to blame and divert their own behavior.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't believe. My opinion of the individual in question, anybody who is part of their inner circle doesn't care about what Tenkar says, doesn't care about my opinions. They don't care. I'm already the enemy. All right. So whatever I say has no effect on how they perceive this individual in question. The thing is, the normals, okay, the people that aren't in that circle, the people that aren't under that influence, um, look for people who are respected. You don't get respect because you demand it. If you demand respect, you're going to get this. All right. I've seen it as a cop. I've seen it as a supervisor.
Right.
You know,
You have to earn those things by moving through the world in a respectful and,
right.
you know,
How did I earn respect as a supervisor? I did the work that my cops were doing. I didn't put. If they were going to stand out in the rain, I stood out in the rain with them. I wasn't going to be uh, putting them in a situation that they were not going to be put in themselves. Integrity, right? I don't take advertisements on this channel, on any of these live streams.
mm,
Why is that? For me, that's integrity. I'm not beholden to anybody. So if anybody wants to accuse me of being a sellout, it's hard to be a sellout if I'm not taking money for it. It's like I have my integrity. So this person who is, again, trying very hard to find that individual that will turn me, um, is not finding what they're looking for, because people that know me know that I have integrity, and I appreciate that. I feel blessed. I really do, And I feel sorry for the individuals
that
that
keep
become
striking out.
it is such an obsession, and they can't. What what is what is the definition of insanity?
Doing well.
One
Albert
of them.
Einstein
One of
said
them.
that it was the doing the same thing over and
Over
over and
again,
expecting different
different
results,
results.
which is sort of like one of the philosophies, like one of the slogans of like self-help meeting, like AA, NA, like kind of addiction
Mhm.
recovery.
Right. So that's what's going on here. The person's repeatedly doing the same shit, and all that's happening is that I have people reaching out to me and going, "Hey, do you know that so and so said X and Y?" And I said, "Yeah, no, he's a good friend of mine. I'm really fond of." Or that's not the 10 car that I know that you're describing. And generally speaking, the conversations don't end very well. Now, why would that be? Because when you don't get your way, you throw a temper tantrum, right? That's part of this obsession. Because with the obsession is the expectation that you are going to get the results that you want. Why would somebody not respond to you in the way that you expect? That's because of your obsession. Well, maybe if you took a step away from your obsession, you'd understand why. Um, Tom, the work, the conservatives, the good, the bad, the ugly, they can't take responsibility for themselves, easier to blame someone else.
Oh yeah.
I prefer religious fanatics over political fanatics. Political fanatics these days have the fervor of religion without a pretense of morality. Well,
Right. I feel like the religious fanatic wants to save your soul. The political fanatic wants to see you rot in hell,
well,
or
no. The political, the religious fanatic, yes, they're looking to save your soul, and they know the one and true only way. The political fanatic wants to score points with their fellow fanatics. So they don't care. They don't care if they convert you, they get points. But if they attack you, they earn points, and that's all that matters to them. But here's the scary thing, Tom. Okay, is this glass leaking on you too, Rach?
I don't know. I just noticed that there is a crack in it,
It's just,
but it's not like
it's not pouring all over you.
No.
She was getting obsessed.
I'm just trying. I can't help it. These glasses are
But
just that way.
the I have been my observations in the last, I don't know, 7-8 years. The new religion is politics. All right. I think that people that used to go to church on Sunday now go to their Democrat or Republican meetings and get more politically involved because that's something that they feel feeds something in them. It becomes part of a movement. And
Do
to
you
be
feel
something,
people are more involved in politics than they were like years ago, like to the point that they
well,
engage like on the local level, or
I
what do
think
you think?
I don't. I
Maybe online makes
Yeah,
it
it makes
easier to do
online
that,
makes it
but
easier,
like
and
the real physical involvement.
online makes you feel like you're involved in the process. But I mean, people have become, in general, over the last 2 or 3 decades, less
Mm.
religious. Okay, I used to go to church when I was younger. Pretty much, we family went three Sundays out of four minimum.
Wow.
And then it was one Sunday out of four. And
No.
now you're lucky if we go for the holidays.
As little kids, yeah, but in
Yeah,
adolescence and all the
no,
stuff happening in my family, we just
no, I
kind of
know. But I'm just saying is that, but people, how we still say prayers over the family dinner table,
yeah.
but that's
We would
fading
do
to
it
the
at like
side over
Thanksgiving
many
or
others.
Christmas, like in front of family or whatever, but never
Uh,
like just in feeding each other like in the house.
Jesus said his kingdom is not of this world, or else his servants would fight for him here. But that's the thing, right? Again, you have people who are getting what society used to get out of organized religion. and generally speaking, Catholicism, other Christian faiths, Judaism, Islam, Confucianism, Buddhism, the list goes on. All right. But what are many of them getting it now out of politics? And many of these religions are now becoming very political.
Mm.
So there's an intermingling of this. And once politics starts becoming religious, once it becomes fanatical, then the obsession adds to the political stuff. And that's when you start to get a lot of these issues.
Oh, so you're saying this person is more obsessed with politics
Yes.
than they are necessarily with you. You're just a
Well, here I am, someone who rejected the true calling.
Mm.
All right, I am someone who this person told me, I know your politics, and you're not really bad. You're just a little bit on the wrong side of it, but I think you've got a good heart. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? It's kind of like telling me that again, like that, like you're like, yeah, you know what, your religion is wrong, but you're Catholic, you're probably going to go to hell, but you're living, you mean well, so maybe you won't. It's what it sounded more religious than political when I was told that about 2 or 3 years ago. And when I rejected that, well, then the obsession became even more obsessive because now I've rejected. It's like you rejected your true leader, your true calling. I rejected this person when they told me that I was not using my influence for the powers of good, and then when they gave me the compliment that my politics were wrong, but I wasn't a bad person. I was just kind of confused. I didn't take that as a compliment and go, oh, well, how can I come on the path of righteousness? So that's when the obsession kicked in. And it's been there for a while.
Mm.
And the threat is there, not for me, but the threat is that if Tenkar stays out of the fold, he's gonna keep people from joining the just cause. I think that's
right. Other people are going to be empowered to
yes,
just stand their ground or like not take a position
right,
at all, which
is
it's fine. That's their
that's again, if you don't take a position in politics these days,
Mm.
then you're always assumed to be on the wrong side.
Mm.
So I am quite happy to be assumed that I am on the wrong side. JR, we must all learn to obey Zeno. You and your Zeno, you make me smile, sir. But the reality is, to my eyes, I would not be surprised if within the next 10 years we have political parties that morph into religions that are going to be nonprofit, tax exempt, and they're going to claim protections as a religion because it's going to morph into that, and that's a scary thing because whether or not you believe in a higher power, you can be damn well sure that whether they are the progressives or the conservatives,
do
neither
you think
neither
there's gonna
side
be
has.
this intermingling of the politics and religion?
I think we're
I
already
guess
halfway there.
you could see it kind of start with yoga, like a certain philosophies in certain communities.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
only certain
Tom, you're
sections.
right. The horror that someone might think for themselves. So, I mean, listen. This past Wednesday, Bad Mike and I had Alex Kammer on Gamehole. Gamehole is a convention that is definitely old school in nature, but is certainly welcoming to all. Some people might even say inclusive. All right. And then next week I'm going to have.
And that's not a bad.
That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. But next week I'm going to have.
Want to be
we're going to have Alex Macris from Axe, Adventure Conqueror King, on the live stream, and there are going to be people who are, and I know this.
How is it Axe?
Adventurer, Conqueror, King system. ACKS. Yes. So I know axe, like axe. It's supposed to sound like that, but it's Adventurer, Conqueror, King.
What? Oh, a system is the.
Is the get that? Yes, yeah. So I mean, personally, Mike and I, we don't care for our guests where they stand on a political spectrum or what people perceive. We want to have guests that can talk gaming and are going to be good guests to have on that are going to be there to give our community what they ask for, which is good conversation. And I know from the last time I had Alex on, I'm going to have people I perceive to be good friends make accusations about me to my face because they can't comprehend how I could dare have somebody on.
Well, better to your face and to all your friends.
Yep. No, I know. But, that's why I'm saying it's becoming more religious. JR, I recently thought progressivism should be a designated religion, as that way we would be protected from it using government to force it on us. Oh, that's a good argument. I'm sure they would be happy to use it against conservatives if that was a religion. I think that they probably should both be considered a religion at this point by the way they are being used. And by the way, you have to have pure think. You must think like the proper group does, and independent thought is to be abolished. And as I've told many of my friends, and I probably said it here, and I'll repeat this, I am retired. I'm retired. You can't unperson me. You can't. You can try to remove whatever influence I have, but that's up to the community, not to you to remove it. And you can't take away my income, and you can't take away my friends. Only I can do that. I can screw up, certainly. Don't plan to. But, the independent thinkers, those that aren't taking a political stand, are the ones that, for lack of a better phrase, people constantly try to kick in the nuts because they're a threat. Honestly, they're a threat because they don't follow what the prescribed, I don't know, the prescribed rules are, the prescribed talking points, the prescribed thinking. And that scares those that for whom politics has become a religion, because you are heretical. I am essentially a heretic, and that's why the obsession is happening. I turned down the true faith. Certainly not my true faith, but I turned it down. I turned it down.
Paths are many, truth is one, sweetie. Separates yourself.
Yeah, I turned it down, and therefore I'm a heretic. And in the history of the world, heretics are always the ones that get hunted down, right? But the problem is, But the problem is now, and why do heretics get hunted down? Because not because they have heretical thoughts. It's they have influence. They get hunted down because they have influence, and they are not following along the prescribed rules and regulations or agendas of whatever's being put out there. Tammy, Psychology Today article with why some people always blame others. They did 3 studies. People that have poor emotional regulation or to reduce their own negative emotions. Example, shame, guilt, anger. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, listen, if your issue with me is I spoke truthfully about your actions that you claim that you never took or did.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the person really has certain values that, they talk about and they really hold to high esteem, and they actually did a behavior that was contradictory, that was discrepant, of course, like he's gonna want to
change reality.
Yeah.
Reality. Listen, all you can do is just move forward and be the better person.
Yeah, right? It's like you can still have these values, but like, okay, I messed up. Yeah. I got a little too zealous, maybe,
I got too worked up in the Yahtzee thing.
Right, I was too, yeah.
It's kind of like, what's her name? Oprah. You get a car, you're a Nazi, yeah. No, it becomes a point where it's no longer effective.
And we have the uniforms under the chairs.
Oh, that would have been hilarious. They should. Oh man, if only
or whatever the guns are.
Saturday Night Live would never do it because that would be A, too funny, and B, too politically dangerous. Like, oh, can't do that.
Or they could do it on South Park. Please feel free to take that one.
Oh yeah.
What's their names? Trey and
Matt and Trey.
Yeah.
Matt and Trey, please feel free to. Yeah, that would be spot on. They could do it on the next special. Ooh. They're like, oh no, we can't take that. We're saying free. We don't want any credit for it. Just take it. Take it. We'll just go. That was us. Tammy. Plus, I think when you constantly put on a persona that you are brilliant, invincible, and to be admired for your success, you get called into lying over and over to cover for any mistakes or failures. We're not even going to go into.
Well, yeah, but just people, it's
yeah,
because a person had these like values that were very admirable values that I think a lot of us have, and strive to get to, but because we're humans, we're not always made to, or we get pulled into like the delusion of like anger or desire or whatever.
Well, here's
and then we get pulled in and we.
Well, and part of the issue too is that when you listen, I have never said I am without fault, and I have fallen on the sword publicly when I have admittedly fucked up. Is it an easy thing to do?
Never.
No. But is it necessary to do at times? Certainly. But I need to actually have fucked up before I'm going to, fall on a sword. I'm not going to fall on a sword for somebody else's self-image, which, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Mm-hmm. So I would advise the individual in question to, stop embarrassing yourself by reaching out to my friends in the community and trying to turn them, because I don't know what you think that you're offering them, aside from obviously the true religion, the true path to righteousness, but that's not everybody's path that you perceive to be the true path to righteousness. I walk my own path toward righteousness, and I am very happy with that path that I'm on. So I believe that most people don't like the idea of others coming out and saying, oh, and by the way, you need to renounce so-and-so. No, you're not going to get very well with that. Maybe if you started actually practicing what you're preaching and live.
Well, that's a huge issue too. You can have certain ideals, but again, being able to live accordingly and not just like talk about it like online, but actually put it into action with other people in your community.
Well, and here's the thing too, and it's a bit of a small tangent, but I'm going to go there anyway. If you have an online community, a Facebook community, and one of the things you say is treat everyone with kindness and be respectful, and yet half your comments and posts in that community are attacking people that you disagree with, then
and you're like, yeah.
But that doesn't really apply. Come on, That's that magical thinking. And we've talked about magical thinking and other kinds of magical thinking.
Mm.
But it's that magical thinking that, well, yeah, these rules apply, but they only apply to people that are in the clique.
You mean
The
rules for thee, but not for me?
Well, yeah.
Mm.
So, if
Those
it's
are
people
not good.
outside the group, you can say whatever you want about them. But if they're in the group, you can't. Unless they are defending somebody that's outside the group, in which case you can say what you want about them and then we'll ban them.
Ah.
So, I mean, that might have been a bit more detailed than I planned on it, but
shit happens.
Shit happens.
Oh, no.
Tammy, I have much more respect for a person who owns mistakes than one who makes excuses or minimizes or lies about their choices. I worked for a captain, Paulie McCormick. Paulie McCormick was born in the United States, raised in Ireland, and came back, joined the police department, wound up being the youngest commanding officer of a New York City police precinct when he got made captain, and then became the CO of my command in the 4-1. And I was blessed to work out of his office, work with him frequently, often drive him. And Paul was one who gave me a lot of my life lessons. I will say that. And
vicariously, or
well, yeah, some of them vicariously. Not some of them he didn't intend to. But one of them, one of the lessons that he told me was, and this is after 2 cops got in trouble for. I forget what they got in trouble for. They did something moderately stupid. Okay. Now, if they had denied they did something moderately stupid, they probably would have gotten off, and their boss would have gotten nailed for it instead.
Oh.
All right. But instead, they went into the captain's office. I stepped out, and 5 minutes later, the door opens up, and he's shaking their hands, and he goes, "Yeah, I'll take care of it." And I was like, "Cap, what happened?" He goes, "Lad, if you fuck up with me, all I ask is one thing." I go, "What?" "Fall on the fucking sword," because I already know the truth. He goes, "You fall on the fucking sword." He goes, "You're honorable, you're respectful. You might get slapped, but trust me, if you lie, if you connive," he goes, "I am going to try to find a way to stick my fist right up your ass so far." So I go, "I'm guessing that they fell on the sword." He goes, "They fell on the sword." He goes, they're going to lose their detail. They're not going to lose any time. They're not going to be put on any kind of record, and it's nothing's going to be on their,
employee chart.
Yeah. Their photo will be clean. So, I mean, that's the kind of, I don't know, life, and that's the kind of way I've always tried to live it, and that's the way I expected it from my cops. When I was a sergeant on patrol, if you fuck up, be honest with me. If you are honest with me and you tell me what happened, you're not hiding anything, then we can sort it out. You deny it, guess what? 9 times out of 10, truth is already known. It doesn't help you by hiding. So, but again, I was blessed with a very good CO. Very, very good. 1 in a million. So, I haven't heard the kids come yet. Have you?
No.
Which scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, I'm like, did they try to make off toward the mall, and Dad just dropped them off?
You just make
it to the mall.
No text message
To the big Sephora sale.
Holy! I've got $5 in my pocket.
Oh, she's not gonna be able to get anything for $5.
I got $5 on my my cash account, my Cash App, and I'm going to Disney World or some shit like that. Honestly, folks, if there is an obsession that Rach and I have, we have to do this live stream every week. It's a compulsion. I would say it's not an obsession; it's a compulsion. I feel compelled.
Yes,
to
because
do
it's
this.
behavioral.
Right. I feel compelled to do this because I find it very rewarding. I find that I get as much out of this as any
It
of you all do.
releases something. It makes things okay again, and that's what most compulsive behavior is about. Yeah.
So I really can't thank you all enough for joining us on this journey. Well, hearing a fire truck in the background, but it's not coming up our block, so that's a good thing. Because that would be scary if there was knocking on the door and we're like, oh, the kids are here, and they're bringing that house. Just saying, not happening. Just spitballing while we're at it. But again, if you're obsessing over something, take a step back. When you're in the middle of an obsession, you can't see the forest for the trees. You get that tunnel vision.
Do whatever you need to do to ground yourself and ground your thoughts, and tap into that part of yourself that's been here for a really long time. That part of yourself that's more the observer. I think of it as like the higher self. Tapping into that your spirit part.
It's like a reset button.
Like what so that you can sort of think about next steps, so that you can sort of be able to not be reactive in situations.
I mean, just like you have to reboot your cell phone every once in a while to make sure it runs better.
Yes,
you gotta sometimes have to take a step back.
Sometimes you just have to
reboot yourself. You're gonna reboot yourself. You got to see what you've been doing, what actions maybe are you doing the same thing repeatedly and getting the same result that you don't want. Maybe you need to change your approach. Maybe you need to change your thinking.
And opening yourself up to just more angst and uncomfortability. Like, because when you do that, like when you say those things to other people and you get that kind of response, how do you feel about yourself?
It's always easier to change, and this is honest to God truth, and I know people are going, no, it's not. It's easier for you to change your mind than to change them onto somebody else.
Right. Or just take stock of like, this is where I stand, and this is a separate person from me. So they are entitled to think how they think. And, fine, we can have a conversation. I can listen to why, or we could just not listen to why they think that.
But part of the obsession issue is not listening to others, or even listen to yourself sometimes. If you listen to yourself might be going, all right, now I've spoken to 5 different people about 10-car, and all 5 of them told me to go pound sand and suck balls. Maybe not so many words, but effectively. Maybe I should stop. Maybe I need to stop. Maybe what I need to do is to change what I perceive to be people's opinion of whatever, yourself, myself, is to take actions to improve yourself. Right? And why try to, if the mountain won't come to you, then you go to the mountain. If you can't make this happen, then there's another way around it. Maybe you got to make the changes, but you got to put the effort in. You just got to try something different. You got to get rid of the obsession. I think I hear noises.
I hear the luck.
All right, so that's a good time for us to go. Folks, thank you so much.
Thank you.
As always, be safe, be well, God bless. Roll this dice, roll them well. Remember, this coming Wednesday, we will have Alex Macris, Ventura Conqueror King System. I was going to say Macri, but apparently that's wrong. Tammy, thank you much.
Thank you.
We'll catch you all later.
Take great care.